Now, welcome to the structure analysis course. So now, like in the last class, we have started the influence line diagrams. So we saw what is the implication of influence line diagram and how to draw the basic shape of influence line diagram. So in this lecture, we'll discuss how to draw the influence line diagram for a beam in case of different types of loads. For example, if a beam is subjected to a concentrated load, or it may be uniformly distributed load, whatever may be the case, how to draw the influence line diagram. So the basic concept here, so here is a beam, a simply supported beam as shown. One concentrated load is acting at center F, right? So basically this concentrated load is actually a moving load. So it may be started from left support to gradually it is going from left to right. So we have to draw the influence line diagram for the AOI. So this diagram, actually a similar diagram we have drawn in the last class, if you recall. We have discussed a overhanging beam, and we have drawn the support at B. What is the influence line diagram? So now this is another type, that is UDL. If a UDL is acting on a beam, so how to draw the influence line diagram? So UDL, so this is UDL. You can see this UDL maybe you can consider it as a bridge, railway bridge, if you recall. So railway bridge, maybe this is a railway bridge, and the train load is basically a uniformly distributed load, right? So maybe a train is coming from this, so this is a train, right? So at the beginning, maybe after 1 second, the train reaches here at this point. So this is the width, this is total width of the train, and train is coming here. So now because of this type of loading, you will have maybe shear force of, we have to calculate what is the bending moment at this point. It is changing. So we will draw a bending moment with respect to this point. Like we will draw influence line diagram with respect to this point, C point. So at the initial stage, our rail is here. So after some time, maybe after 5 minutes, or after 1 minute, now our train moved from this number one location to number two location, right? So this is second location. So after 1 minute, now your train at the from one to it reached to two. So now obviously there will be change in the shear force or bending moment at the point C where we are finding out. So now we can compute what is the bending moment at this second position, what is the bending moment at C. So now after 1 minute or so, now our train moved from this point to, again it came to maybe here, right? So now it is just above the point C. So now because of this position, third position, the shear force and bending moment at this point will be different. So like that, how to find out the influence line diagram when a uniformly distributed load is moving from left support to right support. So that we'll see here now. So we can consider at a distance of x from the left hand side support, at a distance of x, let's consider a small segment delta x. So delta x is a small segment and UDL is acting over there. So now if you replace in the delta x, if you replace it with a uniformly distributed load into a concentrated load df, so df will be nothing but UDL W naught into this distance, right? This distance is given dx, so this is dx. So df is, if you replace this uniformly distributed load into a point load of this one, the magnitude will be df. And let's consider this is a influence line diagram for this beam. So once we have the influence, this is just a random arbitrary shape we have drawn. Now actually we'll find it out how exactly you can draw the influence line function, or you can find it out the influence line function. So here we have considered a small segment dx, and a load UDL is acting. So UDL we have just replaced with a concentrated load of df. So df, how did you compute it? Df equal to W naught into dx. So what is W naught? W naught is the UDL, magnitude of the UDL, and the dx is the width of the small section. So because of this, df is now concentrated load acting here, right? So and corresponding influence line diagram is this one, just random diagram we have drawn. Basically we'll derive now what is the equation. So let's consider this is a influence line diagram at maybe at this point, at any point, and the value we consider it shear force bending on anything, that is y. Here we are just deriving the equation. So at any quantities y, so what will be the quantity? So df y into df. Basically, you will get the actual quantity. So y is basically because of unit load. What is the influence line or what is the parameter value is y basically, and the originally the force is acting df. So y into df is the actual force because of in this section, in this small dx section, this is the y into df is the force. So now if we find it out, what is the influence for the entire force? So it will be just simply integration of this value. So integration of y df will give you the influence or the reaction because of entire UDL. Right, ydf is only we have derived, this is for dx section. If you integrate ydf into for entire whole length, then you will get what is the reaction or bending moment or shear force any quantity y because of entire UDL. So now if you just simplify this, maybe y into df, right? So df already we have derived, that is w naught into dx. So from this equation, if you replace integration y, df is nothing but w naught into dx, right? So from this we can, so w naught is anyway constant, will come out. So you will have y into dx, right? So this is our final figure for the influence line diagram. So what is y into dx? So integration y into dx is nothing but the area in the influence line diagram, right? So how to draw the influence line diagram? Influence line diagram for the UDL is nothing but the value, if you find out the area under the influence line diagram multiplied by the unit weight or unit force W naught, you will get the final diagram, right? So let's solve a quick example, then the entire thing will be clear to you. So question is, determine a maximum positive shear that can develop at point C in a beam shown in the figure. So this is a figure, it is shown at point C at this point. So this is a simply supported beam. That means one side is a hinge, another side is roller. So this is simply supported beam, one side is hinge, another side is roller. So now we have to find it out, the maximum positive shear that can develop at point C due to a concentrated moving load of 4,000 pound and a uniformly moving load of 2,000 pound feet. So now the question is, two loads are moving, right? Two moving loads are there in this beam. So one is a concentrated load, that is 4,000 pound. It is moving from this A to B. Gradually it is going 4,000 pound concentrated load, and another uniformly distributed load of 2,000 pound feet is also moving from A to B. So in this problem, basically two loads are moving. One is concentrated load, another is uniformly distributed load. So because of this two load, we have to find it out what is the maximum shear that will develop at point C. So at point C, which is actually 2.5 feet from the left hand support A, it is given to us in the question. So because of two loads, one is concentrated load 4,000 pound and another is 2,000 pound per feet. So two loads are acting, moving from left to side, and we have left to right. We have to find it out what is the positive shear, change of positive shear at point C. Basically, we have to draw the influence line diagram at C. So now how to do that? So here two loads are there. One is concentrated load, another is a distributed load. So let's do it separately. First, we'll find it out what is the maximum shear that will be developed because of concentrated load at C. I mean concentrated load, and secondly, we'll find out what is if the uniform load is going, then what is the maximum shear at C. So we'll do it in two parts. So let's consider first a uniformly moving load, concentrated load is moving. So concentrated load's magnitude is given 4,000 pound, right? It is moving from here to, it is going in this direction. So in which location you will get maximum? So in which location of this concentrated load you will get maximum shear force at C? Can anyone tell me? So if you see at C, means this one. So when the UDL, or sorry, when the concentrated load is just above this point C, then actually you will get the maximum shear force at this point. So let's do it. So let's draw it here. So we have a beam of so that is a prop simple so it is a simply supported beam. UDL is, so you want one unit load is acting, and so here one unit load is acting, and we'll draw the free that influence line diagram for this unit load first. So maybe let's consider unit load is here, right, at a distance of x from the left hand side support. So what will be the shear force at C? C is some location which is 2.5 centimeter, 2.5 feet from the left hand side support. So the shear force at C, VC, will be equal to how much? So find it out the reaction force here, right? So at a distance of x it is acting, right? 1 kilonewton is acting at a distance of x. So what will be the RA and RB? Let's compute RA and RB first. Reaction force. So how to calculate? So summation of all the vertical forces equal to 0, means here you have three RA plus RB, which is acting upward, minus 1 equal to 0. So you have from this you get one equation, RA plus RB equal to 1. So this is one equation you got. Now next we'll apply summation of all the moment about A equal to 0. So from here what will you get? You will get RB into distance. Total distance is 10 feet given to us, right? Simple, we are calculating, we have taken moment about A and we are finding out, minus 1 into x equal to 0. So from here we got RB equal to x by 10, right? Then what is RA? So RA will be 1 minus x by 10. So basically this is nothing but 9x by 10, right? So this is RA. Sorry, here this is not 9x, it will be 10 and 10 minus x, right? This is the RA, not this one. So 10 minus x into 10. So now if this 1 is here at this point, means x equal to 0, then how much you will get? RA equal to 1, right? 10 will cancel out, so we'll get RA equal to 1. That means our equation is fine. So now if you draw the, now RA RB we got it. Now we calculate what is the VC. So VC will be how much? Shear force at the point C. So now here there is two cases. One, this point load, if it is left side of C, you will get one equation, and if that unit load, if it is right side of C, then you will get another equation. So first equation will do it when the unit load is at the left, right? When the unit load is at the left side of the C, then what will be the VC? So VC will be simply RA value already we computed, 10 minus x by 10, which is acting upward, minus 1, right? So from here you will get minus x by 10, right? So minus x by 10, VC's equation is minus x by 10 when the concentrated load is at the left side of the C. So when the concentrated load is at the left side of the C, we got VC's equation, that is x by 10. So now if the concentrated load is at the right side of the C, then what will happen? What is the value will be VC? So let's do it. So right side, right VC equal to, right VC equal to how much? So if VC is here, that means, so from this side, so you will get RB. So VC will be how much? So it will be 1 minus RB. So RV's value is given x by 10. We just computed it. So this is the expression for VC when the concentrated load is at the right side of the C. Right. So here to draw the influence line diagram for the C, we have to divide it into two parts. First is when the unit load is at the left side of the C, then this is the expression Vc equal to minus x by 10. So just now we derived this expression. So this expression is when the concentrated load is at the left side of the C. And this next expression is when the concentrated load is at the right side of the C. So we have now two expressions. So this is the influence line diagram because of the concentrated load. So see here two parts. So this is at the C, the 2.5 meter, 2.5 feet here. So for the left side you have one equation. This is the equation for the left side. So what is the equation? Minus x by 10, right? So when x equal to 0 means at this point you will get Vc equal to also 0. So the entire term will be 0. Now gradually when the x value is increasing, see Vc value is also gradually increasing and this term is minus, right? Minus. That's why it is the negative direction. So this is the equation for this Vc expression. And for the right side you have this expression, this positive side, right? Vc 1 minus x by 10, right? So when x equal to 10 means at this point, so Vc equal to 0, right? From this expression you got Vc equal to 0. So Vc equal to 0. So that is the thing we just computed, and this expression is valid only to the right side of the C. So once we draw the influence line diagram at C, shear force, basically shear force influence line diagram at C. So when we get, so now from this influence line diagram, can anyone tell me where will be the maximum shear force? So maximum shear force will get it when the load or when the moving load is just above the point C, right? So when the point load is at this point, then Vc is 0. So whenever a point load is coming from left to right gradually, okay, so when exactly at this point you will get the maximum C, right? Again at this point again it is less, right? So when the shear force, when the moving load is just above C, we will get maximum Vc. And how much it will be? It will be 0.75 value, right? So how we got 0.75? So just substitute here this expression. So here in this is the right side equation, right? Just substitute x equal to 2.5, and how much you will get? So this is 1 by 4, so 1 minus 1 by 4, that is 0.75, right? So that is the value here written, 0.75. So when the concentrated load will be at C at this point exactly, then you will get the highest shear force at point C. So that is the meaning here. So Vc, maximum Vc we will get it. It will be 0.75 multiplied. So 0.75 we computed using one unit load. If one unit load is moving, then only we will get 0.75. But in the question it is given our concentrated load is basically 4,000 pound. So when 4,000 pound is moving means this value multiplied by 4,000 we will get the maximum concentrated force. So Vc we will get it 0.75 into 4,000, that is 3,000, right? So 3,000 shear force will get it at this point because of the moving concentrated load. So now next you have to find it out, what if a uniformly load is moving? So uniform load is now if it is moving from left to right. So when we will get the maximum shear force at C? When the entire UDL, so this is UDL, when the UDL will be lying in this position, right, from C to enter right side. So if your UDL is in this position, then only we will get maximum shear force at C, right? So in the last slide we have discussed that because of UDL, the maximum influence line diagram will just find it out what is the area inside this. So that will be the maximum shear force at C. Just area under the influence line diagram will give you the maximum shear force at C point, at this point. So what is the area? So area will be simply, this is a triangular triangular load, right? So it will be half into base into height. So how, what is half? Half into base is how much? What is this length? So this length will be uh, 10 minus 2.5, that is 7.5, right? 10 minus 2.5 is the base into a height. Height is how much? Height is 0.75. It is also there. So this is the entire area multiplied by what is W naught. W naught here it is given 2000, right? It is given 2000. So just multiply it, you will get what is the VC. VC means maximum shear force because of UDL. So maximum shear force because of concentrated load we computed 3000, and 5625 is maximum UDL, maximum shear force at C because of the UDL. So now the question says both the loads are actually acting together. That means both the load will act together, means what is the total Vmax, you will get it. Just add it, you will get total Vmax. So this is the maximum shear force will be developed at point C. Now after this end of this problem, what we understood, what is the moral of the story? Here is that so two load is moving, right? One is 4000 pound and another is 2000 UDL is moving. So both the loads are moving. So when this is a configuration of maximum load, so this maximum maximum UDL, maximum shear force we computed because of UDL is when the concentrated load is just above the C, right? That's what we computed here. So when the UDL, when the concentrated load is just above the C, we will get maximum shear force. So 4000 kilonewton when it is acting just above this force, above the C, and also the UDL is also from this side, entire side. When if the UDL is acting, then only we will get the maximum shear force at C, right? So this is a critical, maximum critical shear force we are computing. So when the concentrated load is acting at just above the point C, and the UDL is also entire right side from the C, we will get the maximum shear force at C, and this is the value 8625. So influence line diagram is very useful when we actually design our structure. So when we design this beam, we have to find it out what will be the maximum shear force in any section of the beam, right? If any section of the beam, if it withstands the maximum shear force coming, then our beam will be safe, right? So our worst combination, if we find it out, our worst combination of loads, then we can easily find it, we can easily design the beam. So using influence line diagram, we have just find it out the worst combination where we will get the maximum shear force at C. So maximum shear force at C, will get it when the concentrated load is just above the C, and also the UDL is also entire left side from the C. So this is the worst condition where you will get the maximum shear force at C, right? So whenever we design this entire beam, we have to take care the 8625 shear force. So whatever design we design, whatever section we design, if the section withstands that much amount of shear force, then only our beam will be safe. So that is the importance of influence line diagram. Thank you.